I've got the two images up on the board. You've got the two images in your hand so you can see them a little bit better. You had a chance to look at these images. I am wondering, what are we looking at?
It's how different age groups get their information from the media, like how they receive their information.
Okay, so how two different age groups get information from media. Okay, anyone want to add to that?
Well, it's based on a survey, so it's what people think they get their information from.
It's self-reported?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's organized by generation instead of specific age.
So what are the two generations that we're seeing here?
Gen Z and Boomer.
Gen Z and Boomer, right? Okay. Any thoughts on who might have created this graph or this image?
The article is by Katie Jones.
Okay, it's an article of some kind. It's got the author's name on it.
It's on a website called Visual Capitalist.
Okay, Visual Capitalist.
Maybe it's during the coronavirus or 2020.
What makes you think that?
Because at the bottom it says coronavirus research report.
Well, it says source Global Web Index Coronavirus Research Report.
Does this make you have any questions about how this was created or why it was created or the content? Yes.
What age group created this?
Okay. Why would you want to know that?
Because maybe it would affect the bias.
Okay, interesting. Any other questions about how this was created or why? Yeah.
How could they get accurate percentages and how much a person's brain listens to a specific type of news?
Okay. I think we were saying before it was self-reported because it's a survey.
I'm wondering how much accuracy it has because it's self-reported.
So we're talking about different age groups. Do we see any differences between the two and how they're consuming?
Gen Z spends more time online than people who are more than 57.
There are way more online videos in Gen Z than in the Boomers.
Boomers get a lot more of their media consumption from broadcast TV
Okay.
than Gen Z does.
Yeah, there's a spike there for sure. I'm seeing that as well. Okay.
Well, Gen Z is more on their phones, and Boomers are more on TV.
Okay. So there's some significant differences here in how they're accessing information, where they're accessing information, and maybe even what they're using to access their information. So then my next question is, how might that affect us? How might that affect our society? How might that affect people, those differences in how we get our information?
If you're finding news on platforms such as YouTube or TikTok, since it's kind of a public platform, it can be easily post whatever you want. Whereas with broadcast TV, you're often going to see CNN or Daily Night News or whatever.
Right.
So it's most likely going to be a lot more reliable.
Okay.
For the Boomers, like I was saying earlier, how they get more from broadcast TV. Depending on what news network they watch, they can have certain political biases and biases about other topics.
Yeah, interesting point. Can you talk a little bit more about that, depending on the station that they watch?
I don't know specifically, but I just know that certain news networks are very politically biased.
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you.
I think CNN is more Democratic news and Fox News is more probably Republican.
Okay.
So depending on which one you watch, it's probably defines your political party.
Right.
And depending on which one you watch, you're gonna CNN might have news that would put Republicans down, while Fox News would have news that puts Democrats down.
Interesting. And can that happen on broadcast TV and on the internet?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
With the Gen Z, when we're on more media, not TV,
Okay.
sources, there's more personalization towards us.
Right.
So it could show us what we want to see.
Right.
But on TV, you kind of just see what's on.
Okay.
I feel like the Gen Z's mind has more of a sense of freedom than the Boomers because from a young age they can post anything they want anonymously.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
Along with that sense of freedom, online videos, when they're kind of mudslinging the opposing political side, it's a lot less filtered.
Okay.
So whereas on CNN or any broadcasting network, it goes through
An editorial process.
where it has to meet a specific standard. Whereas with online videos, really anything goes.
Anything goes. Okay. Yep.
If you watch the same news station for a few days in a row, you might get used to it and start watching it over again. And it depends on your political party. You might only get one side of the story.
Good afternoon, you go to will begin in
We
one
could
moment.
probably
We'd like
cut
to